Good morning. Today is Friday, April 10th, 2020. So during this time of quarantine, I've decided to teach myself a few things. One of those things was weaving. Now I don't have a loom or any fancy materials. I just had some twine and some yarn, and so I found a stick outside and I created a type of loom by using it's like embroidery floss, but you could really use twine or any kind of string. And I tied a knot, tied it to one side, twisted it around, and then wrapped it around to the other side, around once, and then back and forth and back and forth. And then I grabbed some yarn and just did a simple weaving pattern of over, under, over, under. It requires a lot of concentration to make sure that you're keeping up with a consistent pattern. If your mind starts to wander, or at least when mine did, or if I had a toddler distraction, I would sometimes mess up, so I'd have to start over. So this is a cool thing that I've enjoyed doing. And maybe if you have the materials, you could try doing at home. This might be something that when we return to school, I invite the class to do some weaving. And it also requires quite a bit of problem solving and careful work, because if you use the embroidery floss and you twine it too tightly, then if the branches squeeze together, it loosens up and then you get a really loose weaving, and it's hard to get between each of the starting points, or each of the strings here. So anyways, that's a little something. I also taught myself how to crochet, and that was really hard. I used a YouTube video, a few different ones, to help me. And so this was my first attempt at crocheting a square. It's not the most square you've ever seen, but it's good enough, and we're gonna use it as a little hot pad for Hayden's tea set that she has. So that also requires a lot of problem solving, crocheting, and a lot of concentration. I had a lot of hard time figuring out like the right tension to use with the string. If you've ever crocheted, you might understand what I mean by that. And I started it, and then it wasn't going well, so then I'd start over. And I used the same piece of string over and over and over again. So I'd get it started, I'd do my chain, and then I'd realize, oh, those are really big loops, so it's probably not gonna look good. So then I'd tear it out, all right, not tear it out, but I'd pull the string so that the slip knots undid. And then I'd start over and over and over again. And I was really wanting to learn how to crochet, so I stuck with it. And I probably once I got the hang of doing a second row of the knots, then I would realize, oh, this is not looking like a square because I'm dropping some of the stitches. I ended up dropping some of them here, but you know, it's a learning process, and it's okay. To me, it's just a reminder it's a reminder that it's okay not to be good at something the first time you try. And maybe you're trying to teach yourself something, whether it's something in the Google Classroom, or whether it's a craft or a musical instrument or something. And it's just a reminder today that it's okay not to be good at something the first times you try. But really, a lot of things don't come naturally to a lot of people. Some people pick up on things faster than others, and some things are harder for others, and that's okay. So I encourage you to try to learn something new and not to give up when things don't go perfectly. And maybe the end result is not the most perfect, but it's a starting point, and that's a good place to start. Yes. All right, well, I hope you guys have a good weekend. I'll pick up with morning meetings again on Monday.